What's up, guy? I'm gonna assume that's Jake or Philip, one or the other. But so, just so you know, I went to the Flynn rally just now. I got there 45 minutes early to offer security and stuff like that. Sorry about that. Got spotty service right now. But yeah, 2 more days, guys. Most states are deploying their National Guard right now, getting ready for civil unrest. But the places that are getting ready for civil unrest right now just also happen to be Democrat states. You know what I mean? They all just happen to be Democrat states. All the ones that are deploying the National Guard right now. And keep in mind, the U.S. military and everybody now has the legal right. What's up, brother? Now has the legal right to. If I had it, I definitely could. If I had it, I definitely could. I'm not even going to eat tonight, buddy. But I would help you if I was able to. Just out here doing a little flag waving right now because I went to the General Flynn rally and the people that work at the church didn't like my truck, so they asked me to leave. And I'm not gonna lie, that broke my heart. General Flynn's one of my heroes. If you don't know who General Flynn is, he's the original cancel culture victim. They went after General Flynn and canceled the shit out of him because he was exposing the communists in the deep state. And that's why up in front of my truck it says "Stop Communists, Save America, Trump 2024" in a big ass. Hopefully we don't lose connection here. Let me see if I can show you without losing connection. But both of those. That front one is 13. It says "Stop Communists," and the back one says "Trump 2024." The illegals. So since they kicked me out of that rally and I came out here and I'm having my own rally, they were just offended by my truck is all it was. You know what I mean? So, as always, every day we're out here. Every day between now and Tuesday, obviously, we're going to be out here. These are the most important days of our lives right now. If you don't believe that, then please wake up because it's most definitely the most important time we've ever lived in at the moment. Let's see, Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Pennsylvania. I can't remember all the states right off the top of my head. They've already deployed their National Guard, getting ready for civil unrest after November. But it's funny that it's the Democrat states, like I was saying, that are deploying their National Guard. So what do the Democrats know that we don't know already? You know what I mean? Are they cheating in the election? Yes, we already know that since just yesterday, the RNC found 168,539 duplicate ballots. People that voted twice. You know what I mean? So just that alone was in one state. That's enough to swing an election by a massive margin. You know what I mean? I think it was, what was it, Nevada or Pennsylvania they found that in? Pennsylvania's already cheating. The provisional ballot thing. Provisional ballots aren't a thing. If you can't fill your ballot out right the first time, if you don't sign it, that's on you. Maybe you shouldn't be voting if you have all the time in the world to sit there and fill out that ballot, to look it over, to make sure you did it right. We're supposed to have 1 day. That's it. 1 day to vote. Not supposed to be 5 days to vote, not supposed to be a month, not supposed to be a week. It's supposed to be 1 day to vote. And we already have banana republic elections. This is how elections go in communist countries. Exactly. You know, when you're starting a communist country, you tear down the country. So it is what it is. It's sad that we can't get the older people to stand with the younger generation out here, but that's just what it is. Like I said before, though, older generation, I hope you understand. We've been out here fighting and losing everything for you for going on 7.5 years now. So when shit does hit the fan, don't come here. Don't come here. Because you haven't been a part of it this whole time. It's too late now. You know, we're 48 hours out, guys. 48 hours out. And of course, I'm going to go live and cover all of Tuesday up until hopefully until the election's called. We'll see what happens. But many states have already made it very clear they are not going to release their election results on the day of the election. That in itself, all those votes shouldn't be counted then. I hate to say that about you people, but if your state can't release the votes on the day of voting day, then you shouldn't be voting if you're not smart enough to count the ballots the way they're supposed to be counted. You know, we don't get 5 days to vote. We get 1 day. That's it. We get 24 hours from midnight to midnight. That's what we get to vote. The voting polls should open Monday at midnight and they should close Tuesday at midnight. That's it. No more. But unfortunately, they're allowing the mail-in ballots in all kinds of states. That's illegal. That's illegal. They still haven't changed their constitution to allow those mail-in ballots to happen legally, so that's illegal. All this election interference with the news is outright illegal. It's election interference. All these duplicate ballots they're finding, close to 1 million at this point in all different states. You know, one state alone, like I said, 168,000 fraudulent ballots. They've already done enough to sway the election. You know how many criminal aliens have voted in the state of Florida? Do you realize that there's nobody at the polling places in Florida stopping this stuff? What's happening in Florida? You know what I mean? They allowed criminal aliens to get driver's license here. They allowed them to get voter registration cards. But I had, 20 people that came to my rally the other day that announced that they went in. They're not asking for any identification whatsoever. As a matter of fact, they're telling the people if they ask for identification, they can't do that. They're not there to police the voting. No, you are. That's literally why you're there, is to make sure the vote is done right. That's literally why you're a poll worker and an election worker. You're literally there to make sure that the election runs right, okay? So if you're at the door and you're supposed to be checking identification, well, here in Port Charlotte, Florida, on the early voting, you just go up, they ask you for no ID, they don't match your signature or nothing, and you just vote. So in Florida, they've already massively cheated, and nobody's even talking about it. Everybody's paying attention to Pennsylvania. Well, listen, this is how they tricked you this time. Just like last time, they did the ballot harvesting and all the election interference and the Hunter Biden laptop. Well, this time it's Trump's Hitler, and you're all focusing on the swing states. Well, guess what? Everybody fled the fucking swing states, and they came to Florida and Texas and all the red states. So you need to be focusing like the REC. They sent all the money we donated to the Republican headquarters in here in Florida to Pennsylvania and all the swing states. What? What? So nobody in Florida has any Trump signs or anything out. But guess what? There's massive amounts of Kamala Harris signs everywhere because these people have fled here. And they're voting in our elections here. And they're voting for Kamala Harris. And the funny thing is, you've seen it in my videos, these people will have all Republican signs in their yard, and then their presidential sign is a Kamala Harris sign. So how are you going to vote for all Republicans and then a Democrat as the president? That's literally, you're retarded. You people are retarded, because you do understand if you vote Republican for the Senate and Congress and then you vote Democrat for the presidency, nothing can get done in the country, right? What? It makes no sense. Some of you people just don't make sense. Voting is not a constitutional right, it's a privilege, and people need to understand that. So, all I can say is, everybody, if you haven't voted, go vote right now. You can go vote right now till 7 o'clock tonight in Florida. Okay, if you haven't voted, you're in Florida, go vote. Sabotaged me. Yeah. 1 beep. Woo, 1 beep. But if you haven't floated, go vote now. You're going to be stuck in line for hours on Tuesday, and you're going to get bored, and you're going to leave. So don't do that. Go vote right now. The ones that are going to get their votes counted the best are the ones that are early voting this year. Because you know they got plans for Election Day. You know they got all kinds of plans for Election Day. We got all kinds of Democrats volunteering to go to the polling places. But guess who they keep away from the election spots? The Republicans. If you come up with anything Trump-oriented on your body, they keep you away from that election. And that's here in Florida. Why is nobody talking about all the shenanigans happening in Florida right now? We're hearing about everywhere else. Florida, we're trashed right now. We're like 2-to-1 Kamala Harris signs to Trump signs in Port Charlotte, Florida, a place that's always been 92% Republican. We just lost the popular votes in all of our primary elections. Like, we were trying to get Promel out of here because he marches with Black Lives Matters and Antifa. He's the sheriff. Now he's the president of the Sheriff's Association, and he got voted back in because all these Democrats moved here, and they know he marched with Black Lives Matters and Antifa and glorified him as Hebrews. So they voted for him instead of the Republicans that were running for sheriff. Now Promel runs on a Republican ticket. He's the biggest communist Democrat you'll ever meet in your life. You can go talk to any department around our area, and they'll say bad things about Sheriff William Promel. Every one of them. I've done interviews with all of them. You've seen it. None of the sheriffs around here, his own deputies don't like him. But they'll get fired if they say anything. You know what I mean? So it's happening left and right. AOC won her election. How the fuck did that happen? You know what I mean? This big red wave that we said was going to come both these times has not come. We have not had a red wave for our Senate and our Congress, okay? That's what's important. That's what you people aren't understanding. You can't stop the government unless you can stop the enforcement arm of the government. The cops are the enforcement arm of the government. So those should be your most important elections, is your sheriff's elections. Because if the sheriffs won't enact the unconstitutional laws that are being passed, then there's no corruption because they can't enforce it. Do you not understand this? The enforcement arm of the government is the arm that we need to be voting to our side. Nobody got out and voted in the sheriff's elections, though. Nobody. We had the smallest number of turnout for our Republicans for our freaking sheriff's election. That's insane. Not to mention that all the voting equipment stopped working 20 minutes before the election and didn't come back up until 2 hours later and everybody's votes were flipped again. Let's not mention that. Then all of a sudden, all this money gets donated to the Sheriff's Association from Port Charlotte. Now William Promel is the president of the Sheriff's Association. They won't even let him stand in the forefront of any of the pictures. He's always in the back right because nobody likes him. How the fuck is he the sheriff of the... We have to have some kind of revolution. There's no point. There's no way around it. All the blue states are getting ready to stop you. You understand this, right? Why do you think they're deploying their National Guard? They're not deploying their National Guard for these criminal leftists. They're deploying them for me and you. That's why the military is getting deployed. That's why the military's been giving the legal right to shoot American citizens. See, you're paying attention to what is happening in Congress and the Senate right now, but you're not paying attention to all the communities and all the counties that have voted that their National Guard are allowed to go against citizens. Why don't you people start paying attention to that? Why don't you pay attention to the fact that we're on a high terror alert in the state of Florida right now for bomb threats? That sounds horrible. These kids cut their mufflers off and think their cars sound good, man. We used to drive Camaros and V8s and shit, and our cars did sound good. Now they cut their mufflers off, and they sound like shit. But I'm going to end this live. I haven't been live in a while, so I figured I'd go live tonight. Make sure I wasn't going to have any problems for the election. I'm going to get back out here and stand with my truck for a little bit, do some flag waving, and I'm going to stand live again. All the crazy stuff is getting over with now. And if we could just go back in time a few years, right, the things we could change. But it doesn't help. It's not easy to change things when you're out here by yourself doing things. You know what I mean? When everybody else is going to work thinking, oh, well, we're not going to sacrifice because it'll be all right after the election. You people are smoking crack with Hunter Biden. It's going to be all right after the election. Are you kidding me? We have things happening in our country that's never happened in the history of our country. You know, I just named a few of them right there. We have sheriff's departments getting special training just for the election time right now, you know, just to stop you citizens. We no longer have a constitution. It doesn't exist. If you're on the right, you can't enact any of your constitutional rights. The sheriffs, the enforcement arm of the law, they'll come after you. They won't go after the leftists, but they'll come after you. They won't go after criminal aliens, but they'll come after you. You know, it's already gone way too far. It's gone way too far at this point. Look how good this baby is. I'm pacing her. Alright guys, have a blessed night. Be safe. I might go live again in a little bit. Be well. How do I shut this off? There we go.